been a casita for us. You know, it's always been our home. And you guys do an amazing job to make us feel at home. So thank you so much.
Thank you all so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure to host now our third Latino2. Yes. Well, this is the fourth now, the third at Google. We started here, went to Mountain View, and came back to New York, so it's great to be here. There's a special energy about entrepreneurs in New York and those who support entrepreneurs. So we're very excited to collaborate. We're working with the Google for Entrepreneurs team and our overall Hispanic outreach initiatives. It's so important for us to make sure that we're helping to cultivate these conversations, bringing people together, and just increasing access, making sure that people are connected and informed. And we're thrilled to give the stage to Latism and to all of the folks who are going to be speaking, Tanya, Menendez, and so many others. We're so excited to have you guys here. So if you need anything throughout the day, my name is Eliana. I'm the head of multicultural marketing here at Google. Thrilled to have you all, and Anthony, our host, as well.
Hey guys. Anna and Ellie, so absolutely what Ellie said, we are completely excited to have you guys here. I think it's a fantastic opportunity. Again, our third year hosting this, and each year is bigger and better than the last. And it's exciting to see all you guys this morning, and then just kind of looking at the speakers that we're going to have in the events. Latism just kind of keeps growing and becoming this greater thing, and Latino2 in particular. And so we're really happy to have you guys. If you have any issues throughout the day, same thing. My name is Anthony Menendez. Look for me. I wore the black Google t-shirt. This is actually not my dress code, so you guys can identify me and find me fairly quickly, okay? All right, guys. Have a great day, and we're super excited you guys are all here.
So we're here to get to work, pretty much. And I don't know if those of you who watch Shark Tank and dream of the day I'm going to be there and I'm going to say this and that and so on. I'm pretty sure because I do it all the time. Actually, my dream is to be one of the sharks in like 3 years or something like that. And another one that I love watching is How I Made My Million. So really watching those entrepreneurs who come up with a simple idea and all of a sudden make it, execute it, and make it happen. So I think that's, I always call it le picó, you know? So all of us got stumped. Nos ha picado la creatividad. And that inch of entrepreneurship, knowing that we can create something and we can actually join this maker movement. And I love it that we're all here together. You know, we're here together as Latinos, as minorities, because there aren't many of us. So look at each other first and think of yourself as an extinguishing species. Pretty much. So less than 2% of venture capital funding is going to Latinos. And that's the reason why we need to do these kinds of events. We need to support each other 100 times more because it's harder for us to get the funding, it's harder for us to make that sale, it's harder for us even to believe in ourselves that we can make it happen. And to approach the entrepreneurs and so on. So very, very, very important for us to stick together and build that community. And for that reason, Latism exists. I never thought of starting Latism until I realized, oh my God, there's something wrong here. I'm usually the only one in the room. And that didn't feel good. Now, especially in a Latism event, I'm one of many in the room, especially when it comes to the cyberspace. I'm one of hundreds of thousands in the room. So it's growing, and it's only growing because of entrepreneurs like Tanya, who keep us inspired. So I'll give you the background. Last 2 years ago or last year? Last year. So last year, Latism decided to rent space at South by Southwest. And we rented this, the idea was actually to rent a mansion. We got some money from AT&T, we rented a mansion, and we were going to invite 15 entrepreneurs and create all these parties and invite all the VCs, like the hottest VCs in town, because that's where you go to meet VCs. You go to South by Southwest. And if they refuse, we will call them racist. So none of them will dare refuse. So pretty much, it ended up happening that the 15 entrepreneurs that we selected, they were super grateful, they were very happy, but they didn't even have the funding to come to pay the ticket, to pay for the South by Southwest ticket, the plane ticket, nothing. So there, I was like, okay, why do we need a mansion? Let's size down. We ended up taking a cheaper place and then being able to pay for everything for the entrepreneurs. I'm happy to report that at least 50% of those entrepreneurs have now raised over their million. And one of them is Tanya. So Tanya is going to talk to us about how she raised her million.
So when I emailed Anna, I said, what should I talk about? She just said, be real. So I wanted to start off by talking about my background. So I grew up in Hayward. My dad was a factory worker and grew up in a working class family. And and a lot of people think that things happen overnight or all of a sudden, and a lot of people don't talk about the journey to get there. And so I want to talk about the challenges, the fun things, and what you really have, the obstacles that you'll get, or that you'll run into in raising funding, and building a company, and building a team, in gaining traction. And so I wanted to start off by talking about how we came up with the idea for Makers Row and how Makers Row started. So Makers Row, by way of background, is an online marketplace for American manufacturers. So what we do is help entrepreneurs find American manufacturers and also organize their production process. So if Calvin Klein wants to start a leather goods line within the United States, you can find American manufacturers through Makers Row. And so it was actually a long journey to get there. I met my partner Matthew while I was working at Goldman Sachs here in New York, and ended up quitting to be able to work with him on a leather goods line. So we were selling wallets, bracelets, tech goods like iPhone sleeves, and it was really fun. We were making things and we were selling them. I even ran into people on the subway wearing them. It was really fun, and but also a lot of hard work. By far the most challenging part of running this company was finding an American manufacturer. We were paying like thousands of dollars for spreadsheets, catalogs, looking on the yellow pages, going door to door, just very, very arduous work just to find an American manufacturer. And so what we did was we saw that this was the state of manufacturing. Wasn't just us. All of our colleagues were having a really hard time finding American manufacturers. Google wasn't enough. There wasn't an online resource to bring all of these manufacturers together. So what we decided to do was create Makers Row. And the way that we started off, we had never started a tech company before. And we also weren't engineers, we weren't technical people. So what we decided to do was get into an incubator called the Brooklyn Beta Summer Camp Program. And that gave us $25K in funding. We were able to use that as leverage to get an engineer. And then we built the site in 3 months. And that's the short of it. The long story is that we had to get our first customers, we had to hire photographers, I had to hire, all within 3 months. And we also had to work with our developer in order to get it going. And so one of the most exciting things about Makers Row was that we were able to connect entrepreneurs and help entrepreneurs fulfill their potential. And when we first brought up the idea to investors, and even before we got into the incubator, when we were just bringing it up to other developers and trying to recruit developers to do it, we were met with a lot of resistance. A lot of people said, why bring American manufacturers online? American manufacturing is dead. What's the point? And so what we did was every no that we got, we took that as as something as feedback for us to be able to improve our pitch the next time. And so every time that someone said American manufacturing is dead, we looked it up on market reports, we looked up census data. The fact was that American manufacturing wasn't dead. It's $1 trillion market. There's a lot of manufacturing still left in the United States. It's a growing space. And so we had to inform ourselves, educate ourselves, and also come to the next time that we had a pitch to be able to give them the market size data and the addressable market data. And so in general, we were able to, Anna invited me to South by, which is a great opportunity for us to meet investors face to face. And we were able to also just be able to pitch in a casual setting. So actually 2 of my investors that I got from South by, we met at a South by Southwest party where we were just having drinks and talking casually about what we were building and the problems that we were solving. And I think that what really helped us get funding and get to the next level was the traction. So we worked really hard to make the site successful. We literally helped this manufacturer, and specifically, we made a video for her, we did a whole photo shoot for her, we made her highly, highly marketable, and we gave information that was never before accessible, information like machinery, how to get started. And we felt like we were actually solving a real problem that was needed in the market, and that's what really helped us get to the next level, because their success was our success. So we made sure that they were successful, and now manufacturers, we have over 4,000 or 5,000 manufacturers on the site, 50,000 buyers on the site, and people are starting their own businesses through Makers Row. They're also reshoring through Makers Row, and they're innovating for their own communities. So this designer specifically, they're creating a line for skateboarders because they are skateboarders and they wanted protection for their gear while they're out on the road. And this young lady is creating a leotard because she is a ballerina. So we gave our users the tools to be able to create for their own communities and to be able to solve their own problems. And that's what really helped us in getting funding, was solving real problems, focusing on our product and focusing on the success of our community. And that really helped propel us into getting to the next level. That's actually all that I had. We now have about 900,000 products created through Makers Row, and all of it was honestly like a lot of hard work. I think that a lot of people, I've asked other entrepreneurs before I had raised my round, how did you raise your round? Was it hard? And most people honestly were like, oh no, it wasn't that bad. Just had a few meetings and then I got a term sheet. But being a first-time entrepreneur, you come across a lot more challenges because there's cultural differences. You don't speak the same language, and speak the same language in terms of, people ask, what's your TAM? And it's like total addressable market. I have to like Google it later, like, okay, I'll figure that out when I get back. But these are the types of things that that you just have to be able to not be afraid to fail, and not be afraid to pitch and to continuously improve on your pitch in order to gain that traction. So that's about it for me. I don't know if there's a Q&A or anything like that. Anna.
My name is Nina Uguomo, and I'm the founder. All right, my name is Nina Uguomo, and I'm the founder and CEO of Student Dream. And so we train underserved
college students on how to launch earth-shattering startups, and so all of them are first-time entrepreneurs. And so I just would love to hear from you. maybe the top 1 to 3 challenges when you were going from idea to $1 million round, and how you were able to solve those problems, and what piece of advice would you give to those who are in the same position?
Yeah, and I think that, so the number one problem is that there's a lot of uncertainty. So no one is, if you're doing anything that's innovative, if you're solving a new problem, or if you're solving a problem in general, there is no roadmap. There's no blueprint that you can follow. You can't, there hasn't been a maker's row done before. And so for us, it was coming to terms with that, no one has the answers. Like, the investors aren't going to have the answers. Our advisors aren't going to have the answers. And really being confident in ourselves and knowing that, we understand fully the problem. We've gone through this. And making sure that we gain traction from our users in order to prove that out. So that was the first one, really coming to terms with no one has the answer, and that you have to believe in yourself that you have the answer, and to be able to figure that out. And the second, honestly, is like, entrepreneurship is really lonely. I'm really happy that I have a co-founder, because we understand each other. But even then, no one, we understand one another, but no one else will fully understand the struggle. No one, when you're up in the middle of the night trying to solve a problem, or, if your server crashes at 4 a.m. and you have to fix it, or get someone to fix it. So I think that also finding other people that you can relate to and to be able to talk through problems with. And the third, I think, was also just really getting, just getting used to the language of investors and the language of tech. We had come from a leather goods product-based business. We understood that business in and out, and we were very comfortable in that space. And I think transitioning into a new space was a challenge for sure. We had to, we just spent hours reading blogs, reading every book that we could get our hands on, meeting other entrepreneurs that had done it in the past, and getting just very comfortable with the new language, with the new culture of tech and the space that we were in. And those are the 3 biggest challenges. Honestly, we get the question a lot of, like, what's the biggest challenge of being an entrepreneur? Like, every day is a challenge. You don't go into entrepreneurship because it's easy, and nor do you want to. But I think that just being comfortable with, like, the fact that even when you're succeeding, it feels like you're failing, and being comfortable with the speed at which you have to go, and that you may not have control over everything, especially as your team grows. You have to let go of a few things that you used to have control over and trust in one another. But yeah.
I think so. We have a question here.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Chen. I'm excited for you to hear all that you had to say. Congratulations. Do you think that the role of being a Latina has helped you with all of this? Meaning, you're putting your face out there and you're saying, I'm Hispanic, I'm unique. Do you think that has helped you in this venture? In terms of funding, in terms of networking, in terms of being a part of the technology?
That's an interesting question. I think about that a lot. I think that it helps in certain scenarios. I think that it doesn't help in other scenarios. I take it as a package. I think that it's helped. I think that for me, being Latina and having parents that have worked really hard has helped me in understanding how hard I want to work. And I think that that's the biggest gift that my parents gave me, is understanding the importance of hard work, being comfortable with uncomfort, and really just working really hard has helped me the most. I think that I don't think that some of our investors honestly could care less if I was Latina or not. I think that they care about the traction, they care about They care about how big the opportunity is and how much revenue I can bring in, and if this is going to go public and if they're going to have an exit. And I think that, but I do think that for me it helps because I'm able to connect with our users. A lot of the users out there are Hispanic, and for me it's helped just in being versatile and being able to adapt to different situations, because I've had to adapt to different situations throughout my life. Like getting a job at Goldman was very similar to raising funding. You have to adapt, and you have to be able to be comfortable in a new situation.
Hi, I'm Catherine Cuello. I'm the founder of Green Hopping, and I wanted to know, well, one, what are you working on these days? And two, did you, how much are you involved in the company after you received funding? Was that a struggle? Was it hard to adapt? Kind of what were your challenges at that point? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. And actually, it was also surprising for me, because I had never raised a round before this, and then all of a sudden you have $1 million in the bank and you're responsible for it. And no one tells you what to do with it or how to manage it, and so you have to be really responsible and budget. We run a tight budget for Makers Row, and I'm still heavily involved in it. These days and throughout the whole year, we've been really working on hiring and scaling the business, and bringing in revenue. So we now have a subscription model that brings in a good amount of revenue that's been able to extend our runway. And so now we're raising another round to be able to accelerate that growth. But yeah, heavily involved. I work like around the clock, and I love it.
Last question. Oops. Okay.
So I'm Xavier Stewart. I'm the CEO of Driven Labs. We provide software solutions for the auto service sector. So two things. One, I want to thank you for Makers Row. I was actually on a leather goods line about 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, Texas Leather. And we actually, so we found a manufacturer in Long Island City and were able to get good production. So thank you for that. And two, I want to talk a little bit, or ask you about how you've been able to make the value proposition to manufacturers about your service. I'm in an industry that's usually a little tech averse, and it seems like manufacturers are similar. So how are we able to make the value prop?
Yeah, that's a great question. It was really challenging because, and so at first what we did, and it's just like regular sales, we did one pitch, we got feedback, we refined it, we said, okay, they don't like the word B2B marketplace, not going to use that. I'll use something that's safe for them. It's an online resource for American manufacturers. And so listening to your customers, we did a lot of face-to-face. At first, I sat down with people that I trusted and gave them, what the idea was, what the value proposition was, and they helped me create the pitch that would help that was basically in the manufacturer's language. So that's what helped a lot. And for them, once they understood it, and once we were able to explain clearly that, this is a sales tool for you, it's only upside, it's going to bring you a lot of revenue, it's going to help grow your business, then it was easy past that.
Hi. My name is Vishal Kothari. I am the Chief Technology Officer at VK12 Plaza. My question is, what is the revenue model for your company? Like how does that work?
Yeah, right now we're charging a subscription fee on both sides. So manufacturers pay to be able to advertise, and brands pay in order to be able to use the resource. And we also provide additional services like guidance on the sourcing process, and also just additional research for the people that are subscribed to the service.
My name is Dennis. I actually started a media/influencer media company, and it's called Vision Marketing. And like I'm doing a business model, and I'm running into the same thing that you run into, where there is no answers, because obviously you're starting a business that nobody really is doing. So you can't really base it off of something. So my question is, like how can you sell something that you don't even know really too much, or compare it to investors that, again, they don't even have anything, and they're trying to make money, or out of the business somehow. So how do you pitch it to them, or what is it that they're going to gain out of your business?
For investors or for customers?
Well, for customer, well, I know what it is for customers, but it's for investors, so like you finally get it to the customers.
The way, I mean, for us, we projected out how much revenue we'd be able to bring and how quickly we could grow as a tech company. And that was the value proposition for investors, was fast growth, fast scaling. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that does answer the question. So I guess did you really start with a business plan or more of a business model to kind of get
Yeah, that's a great question. We never did a business plan. We did like a PowerPoint and we wrote down like generally what we wanted to do, but I don't think I would ever spend like 5 days writing out a business plan. We just kind of jumped into it. We were like, will people buy this? We started off from the jump charging factories because it was a business tool for them. So the best way to see if people will pay is to just charge them. Because you can hypothesize all you want, but until they have to put in their credit card, you'll never know if what their feedback is real or not.